Afternoon on Thursday, June the 26th. If you all would please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, I'd really appreciate it. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Ms. Martin, can we get a roll call, please?
Chairman John Correa.
Present.
Present.
Sheila Cote.
Present.
Dr. Curtis Ivory.
Present.
Mr. Royce Manifold is in absence. Ms. Diana McBroom.
Here.
And Mr. Assad Turkey is also absent.
Thank you, Ms. Martin. We have quorum and we will move on to item number 4, adoption of the agenda. The chair could get a motion to approve the agenda.
Motion to approve the agenda?
Second.
Moved in second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Next, we will go on to certification of public notice. Ms. Martin.
Court will hold a board meeting at 2 p.m. with its board of directors on June 26, 2025, on the 6th floor of the Bill Building located at 535 Griswold Street, Detroit, Michigan. 480148226.
Thank you, Ms. Martin. Appreciate it. Oh, go ahead. Thank you kindly. Next, the chair would entertain a motion to approve the board meeting minutes for April the 25th, 2025.
So moved.
Been moved,
Support.
supported. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes.
Extension, I wasn't here.
Thank you. Appreciate that, Mr. Cooper. Next, we will move on to the nominating committee report. Ms. Cote and Dr. Ivory had a quick conversation before a meeting. Ms. Cote, are there any recommendations to present to the board?
Yes, we would like to recommend Mr. Eli Cooper as vice chairperson to the board.
Thank you, Ms. Cote. The chair would entertain any additional nominations from the floor. Seeing none, Ms. Cote has presented a motion to approve Mr. Eli Cooper as vice chair. Can I get a second?
Second.
Motion has been seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Eli, welcome to the party. Alrighty, next we are going to open up for public participation. For those of you listening and joining us online, we appreciate it. We're going to start with representatives in the room, please. So if you could please step up to the podium and say howdy.
Howdy, Mr. Chair, members of the board. My name is Lucas Lasecki with Transportation Riders United. I live in Oakland County. I'd like to begin by asking you all to keep the health and well-being of Brother Cunningham in your thoughts and prayers today. He's ill and unfortunately wasn't able to join us today, but it looks like he's going to be all right given time. And the only other thing, well, for one, I'd like to congratulate Mr. Cooper here on his nomination to the board. Great having him around. He's been a great leader at Oakland County, and I'm sure he'll do great things here at SMART. One small thing that I'd like to draw to your attention in today's meeting, the proposal for locations for the traveling board meetings throughout the suburbs. 2 of the locations listed there are not actually accessible by any general public SMART service, as far as I understand. The Grosse Pointe War Memorial is only accessible by limited service, which won't run at the time of this board meeting, and the Sterling Heights location, I believe the City Hall, is not accessible by flex or a fixed route at all. So I would encourage you to revisit that. That's all I got. You got a long agenda. Have fun with it.
Thanks, Lucas. Appreciate it. Any other members of the public present wishing to address? Hey, Robert.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good afternoon, Robert Plowski from Southgate, Wayne County. I'm a transit advocate and I'm also the not vice chair, I was thinking of my other committee, at-large member for the Smart Advisory Council for Wayne County. Today, I want to acknowledge not just our operators of the year. I wanted to say thank you for all the amazing service you do here, and your work is truly memorable for you do for this agency because you put in the hours and all of the hard work to be able to be here. So thank you. But I wanted to acknowledge a good friend of mine, someone that used to see me in all my bus routes when I first started taking SMART. His name is Anthony Waller. He's based out of Wayne Terminal, and one of his main routes every day was the 14250, where I would see him. I'd also would see him on 125 once in a while, every time he'd do overtime. And I want to say some positive words as he approaches retirement. You are a good man, sir. You have been such a true friend and ally, and you have been so empowering to me over the years and all the encouragement you've given, not just me, but all your riders. I'm deeply going to miss you because you've shown so much gratitude to this agency. So I would really appreciate it if we give him a round of applause for all his work. And it's not just Anthony that is the backbone of this system. It's all of you employees, whether that's Harmony, Bernard, Deshalon, Tiffany, Mr. Farrell, everybody at this agency. You bring out the hard work every day. And we always owe it to our drivers for all the amazing work that they do in this system and deserve all the credit. I know you got a long agenda, but I want to keep it short and simple and say thank you for all the work you do for our employees. Enjoy the agenda. I'm going to go sit in the back. Thanks, Robert.
Hi, how you doing? Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Roy Daggs III. I'm a consistent smart rider, and I heard about this meeting. By the way, I spell my name D as in David, the last name that is A-G-G-S III. And I heard about this meeting. I'm very glad that you have this available for everyone today. I'm not here to criticize anyone, but just to really think about solutions. And also very quickly, thank you for your service. I mean, that's tremendous. I have an interesting story and life history. I'm a native Michigander, and I've spent about 30 years in Southern California. When I arrived in Los Angeles in 1982, there were no light rails, no subways, maybe express buses. By the time I left in 2010, they're still building light rails and subways throughout Southern California. And I'm reminded, here I have today, all these various light rail, A line, B, C, D, so on, because I realize there's something here that we have. And one thing that was very important that took place in Southern California was the fact that the people in the area continued to pay for the sales tax. They wanted it. And I remember the day when gasoline prices back in the early 2000s went over $2 a gallon. Those light rails were packed. And so I hope there's some plan if gas prices ever shoot up to $5 or $6 a gallon around here. But to move along very quickly, because I know you have a long meeting, signage is very important to me. I flew in from New York last year at Terminal 1. And I'm looking for the express bus, the Michigan bus, to take me to downtown Detroit. I spent so much doggone money with Ubers and Lyfts in Manhattan that I figured, you know what, maybe I should just go ahead and take the bus, express bus. I found myself going all over the building, talking to people, where is the smart bus? Where is it? Where is it? 45 minutes later, I found someone who helped me. And I was just thinking, if I was a tourist, I would be frustrated. And we deserve to be able to have the money roll through the economy here so that we don't have so much money going to San Francisco and other places. We have to do a better job with that. Signage is so important. And when I also must say, when there's construction, the signage is gone. The bus stop is gone. 10 Mile and Telegraph. We deserve to do better than that. Because when people see and feel this area, if they're tourists coming here, they might say, you know what, I don't want to come back there anymore. We need to do more to make sure the money that they spend on the bus, that money is reasonable, and they have more money to spend in our economy. So anyway, I'm glad to be here today. Thank you for your time, and enjoy yourself.
Thanks, Roy. Appreciate it.
Okay.
3 minutes. Any other members present? Yep. Mr. Rayner, how are we doing, sir?
Hello?
Yep, we got you.
Yeah, Mike Rayner, Macomb County. A little nervous now because my first sentence here says to, excuse me, announce that this is my last 3 minutes. I'm going to hedge on it a little bit. Because it's clear to me and you kind of know that this is my emphasis. And I'm really a positive attitude guy. It all starts with your attitude. I mean, you know, it all follows your attitude. It's very simple. I feel that there's really very little care that I see in this direction for the appearance of our bus stops. I've adopted a few and then I have my own in between where I put benches and stuff. But overall, it's disgusting, the condition of the bus stop. I mean, I really can't believe it. I know I asked once before and never really got an answer. I'm sorry. If any of you had jumped on the bus, stopped at shelters and kind of looked around, you couldn't have. I mean, really. Because if you see what I see every day, I can't imagine you tolerating this. However, I do want to acknowledge a couple of people. Number one, I want to acknowledge Cheryl and Robert. They're the maintenance team for my area. They do an awesome job. I'm really impressed with them. Great folks. Also, there was a lady that came by and cleaned the windows. Wow, that was awesome. I didn't have to hire somebody like before. And she was really very, very good. Of course, the other thing that's necessary is power washing. Now, I do understand we have a power washing machine now, but we don't have water to go with it. So, I mean, you would have to connect to water. I don't think we have water connections at most of our stops. So, anyway, that's really, you know, when you see a lady sitting there with a child, when you see an older lady, or when you see people standing there with their groceries sitting in the mud, no benches, very few shelters. I mean, come on, is this really the way we want to treat each other? I mean, this is crazy. I really don't get it. So, my one hope, really, thank you, Corey, is that after not even being able to get in contact with the Adopt Stop program, we have it now. And Corey's working hard on it. And that is what I'm hoping for. And that's what might keep me going. Because we should be able to get interested people that will adopt these stops. Oh, no, really? Okay. It all depends on what each of us does, including voting.
Good afternoon.
Hey, Joel.
My name is Joel Batterman. I'm a Wayne County resident and campaigns manager for Transportation Riders United, TRU. I'd like today to share the experience of Amy Regan, a smart rider who wasn't able to be here today since she's still at work. Ms. Regan is a Royal Oak resident. She's visually impaired and works at the Detroit Medical Center. She states, I've been a regular bus rider commuting to work on the Smart Fast Woodward, northbound and southbound, for more than 2 years. I typically catch the 5:06 a.m. 461 Fast Woodward southbound, and either the 2:17 p.m. Fast Woodward or the 2:50 p.m. 462 Fast Woodward northbound. Recently, the AM bus has been consistently late by 10 or more minutes, which means I end up late to work. But at least it shows up, which has not been the case for the 2:50 p.m. bus. This bus routinely does not show, or when it does come, it is extremely late. This past Monday, June 23rd, when the temperature was hovering around 95, the 2:50 p.m. northbound bus did not show until 3:20 p.m. On Tuesday, June 24th, the 2:17 p.m. northbound bus did not arrive until 2:42. It would be understandable if this happens once a month, but this happens several times a week. This has been the case for the 2+ years I've been riding. If I can get up on time and show up at my bus stop on time, why is SMART having such a hard time fulfilling its obligation to get their buses out on time? Ms. Regan's experience, unfortunately, remains all too common. We have been coming to this board with the same complaints for years now. SMART leadership must let the public know what actions are being taken. It's great to hear that we're now at full strength in terms of drivers, but we need to know what steps are being taken to address the maintenance issues that are keeping buses out of service. We recommend that the board and public get monthly updates on progress towards meeting basic performance standards. These should also be made publicly available on a performance dashboard similar to DDOT's. These are essential steps towards restoring riders' trust. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Joe.
Good afternoon,
Good afternoon.
members of the board. My name is Kurt Anthony Canyon Sr., and I'm a mechanic at SMART's Oakland Terminal, and I appreciate the opportunity to directly address all of you. On June 19th of this year, Juneteenth, SMART authorized the maintenance department to work up to 4 hours of overtime as documented on the overtime authorization form signed by our union steward and our foreman. However, upper management sent our supervisors an email to essentially tell us that we could not, and you guys would not pay us if we did work past 8 hours. When we did work, including myself, some of us did work past 8 hours, we were forced off the clock. And then we found out that the next day that our foreman, Leon Sanders, went in the system and deleted the extra hours worked. That is against the law. Of course, we will be filing a grievance, but it's this past grievance. We will be filing with the Department of Labor and with the state of Michigan because he was directed by upper management to do those actions. I wanted to let the public know and let you guys know this is a very serious matter. Whether it was 30 minutes, an hour, or more, that is our time. We work hard with what we have to fix you guys' buses. And, quite frankly, it makes us feel undervalued. So I just wanted to let you guys know, wanted to let the public know that's what's going on there. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. My name is Zanaya Kelly. I am an avid bus rider, do not have a car or a license. And so the bus is my form of transportation along with my legs. I live in Dearborn and I take the 261, that's the Michigan Fast, on a weekly basis. Sometimes, depending on what's happening, a daily basis. First off, I just want to thank you all for all the work that you do and your commitment and dedication to continue to do that work. But in the last year, especially due to my observations, I've noticed that the 261 tardiness has just gotten worse and worse. I started taking the 261 and I realized, okay, if it's coming from downtown, it's going to be a few minutes late. Okay, if it's going to downtown, it's going to be a few minutes late. Just a few weeks ago, I had to go to work and I'll run to the bus to make sure that I'm there on time. And I still got passed by 3 buses and was an hour and a half behind on where I needed to go. I just wanted to point out that the work that you all do is not just providing a public service. It is a lifeline. The work you all do can be life or death for the elderly and for the youth and the people in the middle. If there's a medical emergency in such extreme heat, or if there's a regular person and they're dealing with such extreme heat or cold, it can be a medical emergency. And if I'm moving somewhere urgently, the bus is not my first, second, third, or fourth option if I can help it. And I know for a fact that you don't work that hard to have that opinion of all that you do. I ask and I implore you to to deeply consider that this is not just a job, you are providing a lifeline to thousands of people. And we appreciate all that you do, but we know there's so much more that you can do. And we ask you to look deeply in yourselves and the processes that you all create and abide by, and look at how you can improve those in a way that is expeditious, so that we don't find ourselves in extreme situations relying on the services we're supposed to be able to rely on. This can be life or death, and that is not an exaggeration. Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else from the public that would like to speak? Do we have anyone on Zoom?
Good afternoon, members of the board. My name is Nikki and I live in Macomb County. I just wanted to firstly echo Lucas's points about the Macomb and Wayne locations for the future board meetings being inaccessible. While the Macomb one is technically accessible by Flex, Flex is still not a service that can be relied on for a timely appointment. And if you need to use something like ADA paratransit, it's actually not an option, because that is based only on the fixed routes, and there is no fixed route within 3/4 of a mile of the Sterling Heights City Hall. Additionally, I would hesitate to call the Grosse Pointes a good location for a Wayne County meeting. It is technically within the borders of Wayne County, but functionally, the Grosse Pointes are Macomb County, as far as SMART is concerned. The Grosse Pointes are served only by Macomb run routes. And people from the rest of Wayne County have to cross through or around Detroit to get there. Also, I was hoping to be there in person today, but I woke up this morning with a severe leg cramp that stopped me from getting there. And even if I were an ADA paratransit user, that would not have been enough notice to book a ride to get there. So I'm just saying I would like to see same-day paratransit service like DDOT has recently launched. And one last thing, Miss Tiffany Martin Patterson, I have been struggling to hear you during the call as you've been addressing the room. That is all. I hope you have a great day, and I hope to see you in Ferndale next month.
Thanks, Nikki. Anyone else online?
Yes. Okay. My name is Emerson Roswell Schreier. So, and I'm also and I graduated from Oakland Community College, and I'm going to get my bachelor's that's at Eastern Michigan University. And I do have a suggestion and a comment, and I think that SMART should like reduce their services. I think that you guys should only focus on like Southfield and like Pontiac, Auburn Hills area, and not be so thin. I think that you guys should give the other communities, give other companies, the contracts, and don't worry about servicing the other areas. Just focus on Southfield and Pontiac, Auburn Hills area. And that's until you can get things. Until you get things better. And when I moved to, I'm planning on moving to Ypsilanti and go to EMU, and because I can tell you the Ann Arbor bus service is really phenomenal. They come on time. They may like 1 or 2 minutes late, but they show up. And there's no complaints with them. And I think that you guys should really take some thought. Maybe they should. Maybe you guys should like reduce the services, or just close it up, or just close up services, and then let somebody else take over. That's
Thank
it.
you. Appreciate it. Any other members of the public willing to address the board online?
Did not see any emails sent in.
Thank you, Tiffany. Appreciate that. Seeing no other members to approach the board, we will close public comment. Next, we will move on to the chairperson's report. The less talking that I do, the more progress we'll have as a board. So thank you as always for everyone joining. I also do want to sincerely apologize for hosting the meeting today in a sauna. Have no idea what's going on with the HVAC, but hopefully after I say a couple Hail Marys in my mind, the AC will switch on. I'm going to pass along the remainder of my time to Ms. Martin, who will provide us with the general manager's report this month. Tiffany, how are we doing today?
I'm doing well, Mr. Chair, and I am the other Tiffany.
Sorry, that's not bad. I was, yeah.
It's okay.
Yep.
I think most people know who I
I got
am
you.
at this point. So good afternoon, everyone, and thank you. Mr. Farrell is on vacation this week, so I am offering the general manager's report in his stead. A couple of items to address. One, with respect to the locations of the floating board member meetings that we will be having, is that we will be working with operations at those locations to create connector shuttles. I've already been in conversations with Ms. Brownlee about making that happen. If we are not in fact able to create a shuttle solution, we will have to look at changing the location. So absolutely every meeting that we host publicly needs to be accessible by transit. We take that quite seriously. So thank you for bringing that to my attention and to the board's attention. On the other matter of the maintenance department and the on-time vehicles that we've heard about not performing as expected. One of the things I wanted to share with the board today is that effective just this week, we have instituted a moving executive leadership team meeting. And that moving meeting is that we are meeting inside of the barns, inside of the maintenance center, inside of our operations and on the buses. So our vice presidents won't just be a lone wolf out there on the system observing. It will be the entire team, and it will be ongoing and continuous. What I will tell you about this team and what I appreciate about them is that although it was quite warm on day one of this experiment that we are moving forward with, the feedback, the enthusiasm, the crosswalks that were able to happen as a result of finance talking with operations, with procurement and HR, all in the same space, observing our operations real time, I think will produce the type of effectiveness and efficiency that the public has been asking us for. And with that, we will have some updates going forward on how we will make sure that that is codified, whether I'm here or whomever is here, that we will continue in that same vein with that same energy and that same spirit. A couple quick things before we get to the fun part of this general manager's report is that we did not have a meeting last month, so I have a couple of quick updates. We've been to the Mackinac Policy Committee, our conference. I call it committee. I don't know why. We attended the Mackinac Policy Conference at the end of May. Great interactions this year. We were able to talk a lot about what's happening at the state level. Obviously, we are still in a conversation about the transportation budget and what's to come with that. I think Bernard did a wonderful job of making the case for additional local bus operating with many of our state representatives, as well as senators and business in the business community about why SMART is important. important. I've worked alongside with him. We spent some time on Media Row, making sure that we amplified that message and talked about SMART in a way that is definitely forward thinking and focused on efficiency and meeting the promise of our schedule. So that was a good time spent at the policy conference. As a personal note, what I'll say about that conference is the beauty of working at SMART is no matter who you're talking to, whether they are in farming and agriculture, whether they're in healthcare, whether they're in insurance, it really doesn't matter. Transportation is important to them. And the young lady that spoke earlier talked about us being a lifeline. She is absolutely correct. And everyone understands that we are a connector point for the region. And so there's always a reason to talk about SMART, and we take advantage of those opportunities in every room that we're in. In addition to that, we spent some time in DC at the APTA Legislative Conference. That's the American Public Transportation Association's conference. We were able to meet our new leadership, the Secretary of Transportation, Sean Duffy, the Deputy FTA Administrator was also there, Tariq Bakari, and we heard from them about the priorities moving forward and how they expect a lot of things from us. And with respect to transportation, it is not business as usual. We will be adapting to a changing narrative. The takeaway that we all had from that conference was everything is about telling the story, telling the impact, understanding economic development, understanding the impact that we have as an industry. Make no mistake about it, transportation is an industry, and they want to highlight and amplify that. And the more you're able to express that and communicate that, the better your chances of competing for federal dollars going forward. So that was a big takeaway from APTA. And then beyond that, I had one more thing, and as I was rolling, I forgot it. Maybe it will come back, but I want to get to the good part because I know that this is a long agenda. And today we are here to do something that is necessary. I know that while we do get feedback from the public of where we've missed the mark, there are a lot of operators who have absolutely hit the mark and do so consistently. And we're going to be acknowledging our operators of the year for 2024. I got to make sure I get that right, the past year. And we went to each terminal, each Macomb, Oakland, and Wayne. And when we're there, we acknowledge one fixed route operator of the year and one paratransit operator of the year. And when we do this acknowledgement, that people really don't know that they've been selected. So we kind of had to go through a few hoops to get them into the terminal because they want to go to work. So to get them to come back and hang out in the break room to be acknowledged is always fun for Deshalon and for Danny. What I'll say about each year that we've done this is the third year. They have their pictures taken and a photo shoot. They get to be on their own bus for the period of 1 year in a 10-foot tall photo of themselves with the acknowledgement of their excellence. They have been on time. They have done excellent customer service. They have had a great attitude in providing that service. And there's nothing but compliments. We've already heard one today about Mr. Waller. And those are consistent. The best part about Operator of the Year is from year to year, what we find is that we have so many more people working to receive this award that the selection process is fun. We have runners up that we will also acknowledge because they met the criteria. Kind of the separator between the two is the customer compliments. So that's how we ultimately decide the final Operators of the Year. So with that, I'm going to hand it back over to you.
Thank you, Tiffany. We're going to get there in one moment. One other item from the general manager's report that I know that come up in public comment, and we've always had the great stewardship and advocacy of Mr. Rayner, is I know that leadership's been involved in conversations with a number of the communities on the east side with regards to maybe spearheading some pilot initiatives, working with local communities, DPW, even, local parks and rec staff on some of the bus maintenance concerns with regards to shelters and public areas. So if you can just give a little bit of insight, like I know we've started some conversations with Roseville and are going back and forth on some of that, but potentially using that as another model and relief point where we can not only get collective impact, but really prioritize the areas that we want to enhance as the front doorstep to our system.
Absolutely. So the city of Roseville, we've gone to a couple of communities that have some concerns about the upkeep of the shelters. Roseville raised their hand and said, how can we help? We're out here, we're doing some of this stuff with our DPW currently, and we were excited to talk about the potential for partnership, and we're kind of in the conversation now. I don't think they would mind the disclosure at all. And what we do have a limitation on is we do not have unlimited funds to be able to support the complete and total cost that would create daily maintenance to the shelters. So what we're doing is understanding what our cost share could be in that partnership. And so we've reached out to them with a few numbers, and we are waiting to hear back. What we're hopeful that this will accomplish for us is that it's a model that we can replicate in other communities with stops with high ridership. There's a correlation between kind of the high ridership locations and the amount of refuse that you're going to see at those locations just by virtue of traffic. And so what we want to be able to do is understand what that threshold is, and in those communities, create a partnership opportunity where we can contribute to their DPW to sort of divert their attention as they're already in the community. There's obviously an opportunity there and an economy of scale that we want to take advantage of and provide in the cost share for that.
Thanks, Tiffany. I will be reporting back to that from the board because we think that not only can be a model that we can discuss, but candidly, depending on how we, navigate through the budget process, if there could be an opportunity for some additional investments, because we understand that that's a rising need from the community. I also think that that can have some implications on some larger conversations that I know Ryan and Harmony and yourself have been helpful with regards to the community credits and the municipal credit programs. But the other thing that we've been discussing too candidly, as we've even fielded some of these inquiries from a community like Chesterfield Township, the jurisdiction of the roadway has been a very interesting conversation, specifically with MDOT and the Macomb TSC on our side. So we hear you. We understand that undoubtedly this is an area where we need to be a little bit more proficient in, but please, please, please understand that this is something that we are very much committed on optimizing, that whether it's from us, obviously as the steward of the system, but ultimately to ensure that that level sets the expectations of the local community side. So,
And if I may, Mr. Chair.
yes.
To ensure that our shelter attendants here at SMART understand that this in no way limits their role. We're not looking to replace them. This is in addition to support the myriad of stops that we have, and make sure that from day to day, when they're not able to stretch themselves that far, there's a backup system and a support system.
Appreciate that clarification.
Absolutely.
Tiffany, thank you so much. Any questions for Tiffany? Excellent. Seeing none, we're going to hit two quick items on board briefings, and then we'll get to the Operator of the Year presentation. First, we want Tiana to come up and give us our HR hiring update for this past month. Yeah, I got you. How we doing?
Hear me?
We got you now.
Perfect. Hello. I am Tiana Leapart, Interim Vice President of Human Resources, and I will be presenting the HR hiring update for the month of May 2025. So in the month of May, this covers May 1st through May 31st, 2025. We did not have a class for fixed route operators in the month of May. For paratransit, we did hire 6, and for mechanics, we did not have a class as well. I am happy to report, though, in the month of May, for bus operators, we have 426 budgeted positions. I am happy to report that we have 0 vacancies for bus operators. And we actually have a surplus
everyone.
of-
It's a big deal. Let's clap it up.
Also, with that being said, in the month of May for paratransit, we have 142 budgeted positions, and I'm happy to report we are full.
It's all Eli, guys. Eli's on board. We fixed everything.
In the month of May, we have 85 budgeted positions for mechanic. We did have 12 vacancies as of May 31st, 2025. I will report, I know this is kind of early, however, we did hire 5 for the month of June, so that brings our total down to just 7.
Awesome. All right, we'll fix it.
I am available for any questions.
Tiana, thank you so much for the update, and genuinely appreciate the concerted effort with HR and everyone with the onboarding process. Well done.
Thank you.
All right, next we're going to get the quarterly ridership update from Harmony and Danny. How we doing, friends? And I believe the presentation material is in the board packet today too.
I think they're pulling it up too.
All right, we'll start with fixed route ridership. This covers first quarter of calendar year 2025, so January to March of 25. You can see, or some of you can see. Are we good?
We can all say it there.
There we go.
Good. Okay, then now we can see. Thanks. About 500,000 roughly a month is what we're looking at. We saw increases in January and March when you look at year over year. I was curious why February had a drop, which is unusual because we've been pretty consistently at about a 5% increase. It is because 2024 was a leap year, so there was an additional service day in February. So nothing to be concerned about. The next slide, we pulled as we do the top ridership routes in each county. This slide covers the top ridership routes in each county. No surprises. It's the Fast Michigan in Wayne County, Fast Woodward in Oakland, and the 560 Gratiot Local in Macomb County. All of their ridership is strong. We're also seeing those increases except for February. And finally, just something to show you, keep you aware of, something to know that we are monitoring it. This is the new route that started in June of 24 in Oakland County. It's the 759, so it goes along M59 West. And sorry, this should not be this difficult. We're looking at between 3,000 and 4,000 riders a month. So for a new route that's still in its first year, we are pleased with this, and we're seeing several hundred riders a day use this route, and I think we'll continue to see it grow. We've just put in a significant amount of infrastructure investment along this route, and hope that that continues to help make the ridership increase.
Thanks, Harmony. Appreciate it. Danny, how are we doing on the paratransit side?
Oh, good afternoon, Chairman, members of the board. Very excited to go through this. Waiting for it to load. Okay, so we'll get started. So our weekday passengers, we reported last time we saw a lull at the last quarter four of the previous years, but in Q1 of this year compared to last year, we actually saw a rise. More drivers, passengers coming back from COVID, and just more applicants to the ADA program. So all 3 months between the 2 years saw an increase. As we talked about last time, we're seeing greater jumps on our weekends. So Saturdays we're reaching all-time highs. It feels like every Saturday. A couple Saturdays ago we hit 300 rides, which we had never done on a Saturday before. So that trend is continuing. And then the same for our Sunday service. Ridership is up month after month, and our new ridership high for a Sunday was 90, which when I took over, Sunday ridership was about 30. And then consistently about 45. So we've almost doubled ridership on Sundays in the recent year. And it's still growing. So very nice report that. As an overall total, again, passenger totals are going up month over month on the paratransit side. We talk a little bit about, hours are going up as well. We're rebounding from that because of the drivers coming on board and the retention efforts for SMART. Trying to move along for all of you guys with the heat. So miles are increasing as well as trips. The one change we did see is kind of a change in on-time performance. And when we've been monitoring that, it's thanks to the wonderful construction projects that we've seen, which have delayed a little bit, but we're still getting people where they go. It's just had a small hit to some of the on-time performance. So with that, we'll move on to Flex. So Flex, we kind of saw some check marks on ridership. We saw a decrease in February, again, for the same reason. We had one fewer day this year than last year, but Flex ridership continues to go strong. We've hit new peaks of exceeding 30,000 rides a month on this service recently. So that's a service that is still growing. The average ETA for pickups has remained generally the same, around 21 minutes across all the zones. The wave differential, so this is something I think we've talked about. The FTA really likes us to look at this is what is the equivalency in response ETA for a wave wheelchair accessible vehicle versus a non-wave? Our metric is we want to have a 5-minute differential. And so that's our goal. We want to be better than 5 minutes in those response times. So we monitor this, and this shows kind of the difference in the wave responses. Utilization still remains strong. We are hitting 3 rides per revenue hour in some of our flex zones now, due to, I think a lot of the board members help, JP and others helping us find parking lots. Eli was helpful within the community. So no longer do the vehicles come from a central location, have to go into your county, into your zone. They're really starting that. Dearborn was the last zone that just went live this week. So all of these massive zones have all been broken down into smaller ones. Those hours are now being put back into service. So that's why we're seeing better service delivery. And then the average ride distance still remains the same across the flex zones. So with that, and we added cost per ride for everybody to see, but if there's any questions from the board, I'll entertain them at this time.
Thank you, Danny. Appreciate it. And also Harmony, really appreciate the update. Thrilled to get the full spectrum of not only some of the successes that we had, but undoubtedly some of the areas that have been discussed in public comment that we are focused on from an operational standpoint and have been brought to the attention of the board too. So thank you for that. And
thank you.
Seeing no questions from the board, we're going to move on for some recognitions for our Operator of the Year presentation for fixed and paratransit. I'm going to hand it over to Tiffany, who's going to call up our friends from each one of the terminals, and I think we're going to start on the east side. So when Tiffany calls your name, if you all could come on up, and I think we're also going to snap a picture.
We are. So when you
Okay.
come up, come on up here. Don't be shy. We're going to shake your hand, give you an award, and take a picture, and then you can return back to your seats. And just so everyone in the audience knows, they have the day off today. So after they are done, we are going to go ahead and let them leave. No judgment, so that they can enjoy the rest of this lovely day. All righty? Let's go. So first up, we are starting on the east side. We're going to start with Mark, Macomb County. Our fixed route operator of the year for 2024, Mr. Mark Rhodes. Come on up, sir.
Mark, congratulations. I appreciate it. Thank you for everything you do. Step on it.
Now I'm getting what you said.
There you are.
Yeah, take it away.
There you are.
Sorry, we go on 3. Money, 1, 2, 3.
Money.
Oh yeah, we ain't in front of everybody. Yeah, we're not gonna take money.
Come on. Yeah.
One more, sing it one more. There we go. On 3, money, 1, 2, 3, money.
So much enthusiasm.
Yeah, thanks, Mark.
All right.
I appreciate it. Yep.
Maybe.
But we're
Hey,
good.
we got 5.
Yep, I know.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, we only got 5 in there?
Yeah, the Oakland ones can show up on.
Oh, okay, I got those names.
Water.
All right.
Yeah.
And now also in Macomb, I am going to call up Mr. Ken Stewart. Mr. Ken Stewart was also our operator of the year in 2022 and a finalist in 2023. Ken is consistent. Ken, congratulations. You really can't get better.
There we go. On 3, 1, 2, 3, money.
Our winner.
Oh, yeah, that's it.
All right, on 3, 1, 2, 3,
Winner.
Yeah, that was nice.
All right, excellent. Congratulations.
Thank you. Wayne.
And now we are moving forward over onto Wayne County. And we are going to acknowledge our fixed route operator, Mr. Anthony Waller, who again was already acknowledged today.
Congratulations, sir. Yep. Congratulations.
There we go. On three, winner, 1, 2, 3.
Winner.
You said it like you meant it. Good.
Excellent. Congratulations again.
Yes. And also in Wayne County, our paratransit operator of the year, Miss Lakeisha Robinson. Come on up.
You guys are. Congratulations. Congratulations again.
All right, here we go. On three, winner, 1, 2, 3.
Winner.
Say it like you mean it.
Excellent. Congratulations.
I know we went through all this.
You film. Instagram. She's just back there. I forget to say that part. All right. And now we're into Oakland County Operators of the Year, Fixed Route, Miss Felicia Graham. Come on up. And as Felicia approaches, I would tell you, when we announced her name at Oakland Terminal, I don't know what she's running for, but everyone in that room applauded Miss Felicia. She has a great spirit and personality. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations again. Thank you.
All right, here we go. On three, winner, 1, 2, 3.
Winner.
There it is. It's getting a little better.
It's hot in there.
Congratulations.
I don't know what you think.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
We'll go to the next song.
Okay. And our last winner was not able to come and be here today, but we're still going to acknowledge Mr. Michael Nettles, your writing is whoever wrote this. Okay. I'm going to say it again so that we acknowledge him correctly. Mr. Michael Nettles is our paratransit operator of the year. Could not be here with us today, but he will indeed get his award. And we thank you so much to all of our operators of the year and our runners up, our finalists for your continued excellent service. Thank you.
Alrighty, friends, and thank you again to all those that have been recognized here today. Undoubtedly, it is always a great celebration when we're able to highlight the incredible and inspiring work that you do day in, day out. And again, we truly appreciate it. Next, we're going to throw it over to friend Ryan, who's going to give us a brief financial report for the third quarter, and then we will move on to a number of items in new business. No pressure, Ryan. How are we doing?
Doing well. Okay. So this is the financial report in your packet for the period ending March 31st. Smart's overall financial position remains stable and similar with previous quarters. So there is nothing really major to report on the balance sheet. Moving on to the income statement, you will notice that revenues are slightly below budget. The overall expenses are also below budget, and we are just a little ahead of where we thought we'd be at this point in the year. Through the period ended March 31st, that's right about the time that we were starting to, I guess, solve all the driver shortage issues. So you will notice just a couple of budget underruns or below budget in certain wage areas, which is primarily the cause for some of this. On the revenue side, we are under budget just based on property tax timing, property tax receipt timing primarily. And that is my financial report. Any questions?
Thank you, Ryan. Appreciate the update. Any comments, questions, insights from members of the board? Seeing none, the chair would entertain a motion to receive and file.
So moved.
Been moved and supported. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. All righty, friends, we are going to get all the way up to L on new business. We're going to start off with a resolution for fiscal year 2026 Board of Directors meeting schedule. And Bonnie's going to help us with this one. How are we doing, Bonnie?
How are you?
Doing well.
As you can see in your packet, we are scheduling the meetings for the next year and has already been discussed. 3 of the meetings will be held off-site. The first meeting on July 24th will be at Ferndale City Hall. Second meeting on July 28th will be at the Grosse Pointe War Memorial. And the third offsite meeting will be held at Sterling Heights City Hall. As was mentioned, if something were to occur and we are unable to get people to these meetings, we will come back and amend that schedule at a later time. The other thing I did want to point out is that with the Christmas and Thanksgiving holidays, we are combining those meetings, and that meeting will be held on Thursday, December 4th, 2025 at 2:00.
Thank you, Bonnie. Appreciate the update. The chair would entertain a motion to approve the board meeting schedule as presented. Been moved? Supported. Any discussion? Thank you for the staff's consideration on providing access to those meetings. Seeing no further discussion, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Next, 14B, a resolution for appointments for the 2024-2025 Audit Committee for the Smart Board of Directors. Ryan, what are we looking for, sir?
The audit committee is responsible for overseeing and reviewing the work of Smart's external accounting firm, who will come in, do a very thorough review of a variety of financial information, as well as help us prepare our annual financial report. We are looking for the appointment of 3 members, including a chair, to this committee to oversee that work, and the board chair is also an ex officio member of that committee.
Thank you, Ryan. Appreciate it. Sheila, I sincerely apologize, but you're on this committee. Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. Dee and Eli, any suggestions from Oakland? Eli's in. All right. Assad, what are you thinking? You want to do it? It's not bad. All right. You want to be chair? It's fun. You get a gavel.
Come in.
All right. So we have Assad as chair. Sheila and Eli is the slate of officers. Can I get that motion, please? Can I get support?
Support.
All righty. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Thank you for your service, everyone. Yeah, Eli, you asked for this, man. You started showing up, man. Geez, you're getting all the good ones today. All right, Ryan, we're coming back with another one. We need a resolution for the adoption of the fiscal year 2026 operating budget, restricted operating budget, and the proposed fiscal year 2026 through fiscal year 2030 capital budget.
Thank you. So I do have some very brief comments on the budget. We did do a budget committee meeting a little over a month ago where myself and the budget committee members were able to dive into the budget in much greater detail. So I just wanted to make a few quick comments and then turn it over and see if anybody had any questions, and we can dive into the budget in as much or as little detail. I do want to report that the budget committee did resolve to recommend the adoption of the budget as presented. So that's always a plus. The first comment I have is that it's approximately $184 million budget. It's about a very similar level of service called for in this budget as we have on the road right now, or it will feel like a little bit of an increase, but that is largely because as we compare year over year, we'll have a full year in this budget at full drivers, and hopefully very soon here full mechanics. You will notice a couple of increases on certain budget line items. The overall theme, and as we've heard from the public, our community partners and the board itself, we've tried to provide budget in a variety of areas that help us with overall service reliability and customer experience. And I just want to call out a couple of those things. With regard to, we've got a bunch of exciting things going on in the maintenance department. So you will notice we've got a bunch of budget available for maintenance campaigns. So that includes a couple of things. including additional repair parts, making sure that we're keeping these buses up and reducing our mean distance between failures. We are going to explore in the next year entering into contracts with certain third parties to help us with larger repairs. So whether it be a major engine repair, transmission, or body work, we could send it off to a third party. So we're not holding up a maintenance bay as we're waiting on parts or other items to come in while we've got a bus taking up a bay up on the jacks. We have provided for additional staff to help us in the stockroom and to do some warranty work. So that's again just designed to make sure we have the right parts, but specifically at the right time, and that we're not overpaying for those parts. A couple of other improvements in order to help us get buses out timely. We have some additional staff and systems in this budget to help us manage the buses as they're in the yard. So, you know, we know exactly where a bus is. We know exactly how where it needs to be, getting it to so it's ready to roll off the lot as soon as that driver's pull-out time comes up. We have tweaked our staffing model just a little bit. Well, we still have the same level of staff projected to perform the service. Have started to come up with and estimate the number of folks we think are going to be on any type of.
Hey, Ryan, I think we just lost your microphone. Sorry about that.
Going for a third.
Take the other two down.
You start juggling them.
All right, how about now?
Yep, we got you back, Ryan.
All right. So we are estimating the number of folks that we'll have on leave at any given time, and we'll hire so that we've got some buffer to make sure that we can ensure that we have a driver available to run budgeted service. Those are my main highlights of some of the areas where you'll see some additional resources allocated within this budget. I do also want to make a quick comment that this budget includes for approximately $26 million of community funding. So it's not an insignificant amount by any means. And that also includes 328 community vehicles, approximately. I might be off one or two there.
We won't hold you to it.
Thank you. Yeah. So we're doing a lot of exciting things. I'm really pleased with all the help that I've gotten from our folks in operations in every department in putting this together, and I think it's going to be a very exciting year. So I'd be happy to answer any questions that you may have regarding the budget.
Ryan, just from my perspective, very much want to thank you for the $26 million commitment to the community credits program. We understand that, those community providers, as we've not only been engaged in those conversations on the east side, but we also know that our friends in Oakland County have been looking for a little bit more modernization of how those funds can be more easily applied. Undoubtedly, the commitment for the vehicles and the capital expenses is mission critical to the foundation of the service, but it very much helps not only on the reliability, but expanding the accessibility of everything that Danny and team are doing, and then even the modernization we're doing on the micromobility front. So I think that is one of those elements of the budget that, I think we're hearing from all sides of the table here with the board, but undoubtedly it's just as we're trying to amplify what we're hearing at the community level. So I think that's a trend in the right direction. I very much think that that's going to be part of the continued conversation on the east side as we look at our options towards millage renewals and how that is going to be one of the foundational building blocks for what Assad and Dr. Ivory want to do in Wayne County too. So thank you very much on that end. Obviously a huge budget on that end, and when you're talking about $184 million, it is good to know that we have the continuity and stability in our financial practices, and undoubtedly day in, day out have you, your entire team, and all the partners in that arena and administration to thank on that side. Any comments from members on the board? Seeing none, the chair would entertain a motion for the adoption of the fiscal year 2026 operating budget. Been moved, supported. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you, Ryan. Really appreciate that. I guess we're going to keep you around one more time for the municipal community credit and purchase of service agreements. Yep. Yeah, D. Yep.
So this resolution just authorizes the finance department to actually execute the contracts and make the payments for the community funding that is outlined within this budget. That is the story behind this. Any questions?
Thank you, Ryan. The chair would entertain a motion to approve the municipal community and purchase of service agreements. Been moved?
Or
Been supported? Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you, Ryan. Really appreciate everything on that front. Next, we're going to move over to a resolution for approval of the revised Smart Agency Safety Plan. Amy, how we doing?
Good, how are you?
Hanging out today.
Good. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Staff recommends board approval of the resolution approving the revised Smart Agency Safety Plan. This, the updates to the ASP address the responsibilities of the Chief Safety Officer, detail our risk reduction program, and create a dispute resolution process for the Safety Management System Committee. The SMS committee collaborated on these updates and voted unanimously to approve these changes.
Excellent. Amy, thank you for the update on that end. Obviously, all of the corresponding documentation is in front of you. And I know one of the things that we discussed was the executive on the signature. So we have Mr. Farrell as the general manager on there. If there are no questions, the chair would entertain a motion to approve the agency safety plan.
so moved.
Been moved?
Support.
Supported. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Thanks, Amy. Appreciate it. Juan, I believe you're up next for F, a resolution for the authorization to exercise assigned options for 3 heavy-duty tow trucks, training and warranty.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair, Smart's Board of Directors. It's the recommendation that the board adopts the attached resolution authorizing the exercise of assigned options for the purchase of 3 heavy-duty tow trucks and training and warranty to Crouch Wrecker and Equipment. This is a one-time purchase at a total cost not to exceed $1,804,962.87. The Smart Maintenance Departments require 3 heavy-duty tow trucks to enhance its maintenance operations. Smart is requesting board approval to exercise the options assigned by Jacksonville Transportation Authority of Florida pursuant to FTA Circular 42201G. When the recipient finds it unintentionally acquired contract rights, including unexercised options in excess of its needs, other recipients may make use of the unneeded contract rights via assignment. Acquiring these tow trucks will improve efficiency and response times for recovering fleet vehicles from breakdowns and accidents. This is a contract that also includes staff training to ensure safety operations of the tow trucks. Any questions?
Thank you for the update, Mr. Burt. Any questions from members of the board? Seeing none, the chair would entertain a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Been moved and supported. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Mr. Burt, we're going to move on to G, a resolution for the authorization to award for towing services for fixed route paratransit and support vehicles.
This is the recommendation that the board adopts the attached resolution authorizing the award of a contract for towing services for fixed route paratransit and support vehicles to Boulevard and Trumbull. This is a 3-year contract starting July 1st, 2025 through June 30th, 2028, plus 2 one-year renewal options at amount not to exceed $661,494 for 3 years, plus 2 one-year options for a total amount not to exceed $1,101,494 for the 5 years. Any questions?
Mr. Burt, thank you for the update. Any questions from members of the board on this matter? Eli.
Question related to the previous item approved with regard to acquiring tow trucks, and now we have a contract for towing services. Is this contract both for the coming year and the subsequent at a reduced rate from prior experience because we're going to have our own fleet in-house?
Yes.
Thank you.
Mr. Burt. Any other further questions? Seeing none, the chair would entertain a motion.
So moved.
Motion's been moved. Second, any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed?
Let the record show that I abstained.
The record will show. Motion passes. Next, we're going to move on to new business I, a resolution for authorization to award a contract to Connect Point for 13-inch digital screen licensing and support. Mr. Parker, I believe, no, or Mr. Burt? Mr. Parker.
Skip one.
I got, no?
Okay.
Wait.
Oh, wait, I don't know how to say my ABCs. So we're gonna have a resolution for authorization to award a contract for 15 road supervisor and 10 support vehicles. That's my bad. That's on me. Mr. Burt, you're still up. Sorry about that.
Yes, it is a recommendation that the board adopts the attached resolution authorizing award of a contract for 15 road supervisor vehicles and 10 support vehicles to Bob Maxey Ford, located East Jefferson, Detroit, Michigan. This is a one-time purchase. The amount not to exceed $1,380,250. SMART requires large SUV vehicles for road supervisors to effectively perform their job duties, which includes monitoring and supervising on-road service. These vehicles act as mobile offices for road supervisors who spend the most of their workday on the road. Given the significant idle time, it is essential to have a commercial package installed installed that includes enhanced oil and transmission cooling systems to extend the service life of the vehicle. Additionally, these SUVs will have the ability to move vehicles off the road when necessary. It is important to keep road supervisors and support vehicles similar to ensure cost and effective and efficient repairs, as well as to provide temporary replacement for vehicles for road supervisors. Any questions?
Thank you for the update, Mr. Burt.
Yes.
Sorry, trying to sneak this one through. D, what's happening?
Mr. Chair, is this a new program or are these replacing vehicles you currently use?
These are replacing current vehicles that we're using.
Okay. Do these vehicles go home with employees?
No, they do not.
Thank you. That's all. Thanks.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Seeing no further discussion, the chair would entertain a motion.
So moved.
Been moved. Supported. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of approval, please vote, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Now we're gonna move on to Mr. Parker. Sorry about that, friends. Let's talk about those 13-inch digital screen licensing and support.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair, Board of Directors, Ms. Gunter. It's SMART's recommendation that the board adopt the attached resolution authorizing the award of a contract for licensing and support for 13-inch bus stop screens to Connect Point Inc. located at 175 Cremona Drive, Suite 160, Goleta, California, for a one-year contract beginning July 1st, 2025 through June 30th, 2026, with no renewal options, as a total cost not to exceed $198,000.
Thank you,
Any
Mr. Parker.
questions?
Appreciate that. Any questions from members of the board? Seeing none, the chair would entertain a motion to approve. Been moved. Supported. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Thanks, Mr. Parker. Next, we're going to move on to J, a resolution for the authorization to award a contract for replacement bus shelters and amenities. And I think Harmony's jumping back up. Hey, Harmony.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Staff is recommending board approval of the resolution authorizing a contract agreement for the purchase of 10 enhanced bus shelters, 30 standard shelters, and Myriad shelter amenities to Brasco International of Madison Heights, Michigan. To maintain brand consistency, only Brasco can supply shelters and amenities that are identical to those currently in use. SMART, as you know, has kicked off a large transit infrastructure improvement project that will include upgrading many of its shelters and bus stops. This purchase of shelters will be used to support that initiative. The contract is a one-time purchase amount not to exceed $740,625 and will be paid for with capital grant funds.
Harmony, I know that we're looking at about 335 bus shelters total, but you just correct me if I'm wrong here, specifically for this one, it's the purchase of the 10 enhanced shelters and then the 30 standard shelters, along with the trash receptacles, benches, and signage.
That's correct.
Excellent. Thank you. Very much appreciate the thoughtfulness and advocacy on this one. I know it's obviously been a topic of a conversation today. If there are no comments from the members of the board, Chair would entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Been moved, supported. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you, Harmony. Appreciate it. Next, we're going to bring Bernard back up for a resolution for the ratification of payment for services rendered and authorization of contract amendment 1 to increase funds for public relations services. Mr. Parker.
Hey, Mr. Chair, SMART's recommendation that the board adopt the attached resolution authorizing ratification of payment for services rendered for contract amendment number 1 for strategic communications and public relations services with Truscott Rossman located at 123 West Allegan Street, Suite 100 in Lansing, Michigan, to authorize payment for services rendered in the amount of $108,000 and approval to increase funding for the base 3 years, authorized amount for $720,000 to $1,242,000 through April 5th, 2026, and to increase funding for each option year to $424,000. The total aggregate amount of this contract shall not exceed $2,090,000 for 5 years. Any questions, Mr. Chair?
Mr. Parker, I know we've done a tremendous amount of coordination with our partners at Truscott Rossman, not only with some of the key messaging around the mobility advancement, but if you could just give a little bit of overview into some of the successes that we've had in the initial phases of the contract.
Sure, sir.
Tiffany, you
So
wanna jump
working
in?
with Truscott Rossman truly has been a partnership with SMART. They've helped us out with corporate and executive communications for visibility, voice influence, helped us out with some branding in conjunction with Burline. As far as media relations is concerned, if you look at our engagements, whether it's on Facebook, Instagram, or LinkedIn, from January 24 to February 25, we've had over 6,500 hits. Our media mentions over 880 in print, 146 in broadcast. They've helped us out with several events, whether it's, you may remember the Drive a Bus event we've had. We've done several ride-alongs. We've had some communications in terms of some things we're working on for smarter mobility, as well as telling the SMART story in terms of some of the things that we've done over the last 3 or 4 years. They've done a yeoman's job, sir, in terms of helping with incident management and communications. Even some of the things like KPIs, looking at competitive metrics and analysis with some of our similar like agencies like CATA, Flint, those things, those agencies. And so they've just truly been helpful. They're moving forward with us in terms of some other branding and some other projects that we're working on for our Smarty campaign. And that's it, sir.
And I'll just add on to that, as we understand that in 26 we'll be in Wayne County providing extensive education as we move forward with the ballot question and helping people understand what SMART is and what they're doing in the community. And in 27, again, in Macomb County to do the same. That is the rationale for increasing the option years, because we know that there's going to be a heavier level of engagement and expectation from the community from SMART.
Tiffany, appreciate the thoughtfulness on the continuity of operation as we head into 2 critical millage years. And I think the other thing is not only building off the foundation for a number of those, more sensitive conversations that it is as far as the smart mobility strategy, and even some of the feedback loops that we've established with our community providers has been really critical in that conversation. Seeing no comments from members of the board, Chair would entertain a motion to approve. Been moved. Supported. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Parker. Next, HIJK, I think that's L. All right. Authorization to award a contract for Trapeze Blockbusters. I thought all the Blockbusters closed. Sorry, and joke. I think I just told everyone my age. All righty. Harmony, how we doing?
Good. All right. Last one. Staff is recommending board approval of the resolution authorizing a contract agreement for Blockbuster scheduling software solution to Trapeze Software Group. Smart is seeking to improve its run cutting and scheduling capabilities by adding the Blockbuster solution to its suite of Trapeze products. Blockbuster will assist the scheduling team by automating its run cutting functions to ensure operator and vehicle optimization. This functionality is crucial over the next several years as Smart continues to add new routes and enhance service levels. The contract is for an amount not to exceed $314,535 for a one-time purchase of the software module, implementation and training services, and 1 year of software maintenance with no renewal options. And this project is funded with capital grant funding.
Harmony, really appreciate the thoughtfulness on bringing this modern solution to some of the run cutting challenges on that side. Any comments from members of the board? Seeing none, Chair would entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Moved and supported. Seeing no further discussion, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Next, board member business. Any business to discuss for members of the board? Seeing none, the chair always entertains a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Moved, supported. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Any opposed? We are adjourned. Thanks, friends.